Hi, I'm Phil, and this is another Above Board game review. Today, I want to take a look at The Quest for El Dorado by Reiner. This is a deck building game for 2 to 4 players that plays in about an hour. In this game, you play the role of an adventurer, trying to make your way through jungles, villages, and rivers in order to find the mythical city of El Dorado. Before I keep going, I just want to take a second and mention I'm not going to be doing a rules explanation of this game. I'm not going to be showing you how to play the game. I'm not even going to be showing how the game plays. If you're looking for that kind of video, there's a ton of them online. Definitely go find one. What I want to talk about today is just what I think of this game, how I feel when I'm playing it, and just my general impression of the game. So, this game really took me by surprise. It came out this year, 2017, and actually the first I heard of it was when it was nominated for the German Board Game of the Year award, the Spiel des Jahres. That was, it was very surprising to hear that a game from such a well-known designer kind of just flew under my radar until it was nominated for a Game of the Year award. It didn't win the award. And that's not entirely surprising. It's actually, to me, more surprising that Reiner Knizia had a new game nominated for the award. Reiner has made a ton of amazing games, but he hasn't really put out anything worth writing home about in the last 10 or 15 years. So I was really excited to hear that he had a new game that was being nominated, if not winning awards. When I got to play this game, I was really impressed. I will say it is a medium, light-medium kind of game. It's not a deep strategy game. You're not going to be learning anything new, after the 20th or 30th play. But it's a lot of fun. Like I said, it plays in about an hour. It's a deck builder. So you're using your cards, you drop some cards in your hand and you're going to play those cards to move through the terrain, getting through the jungle. Here's some of the tiles. So you're going to use them to move through these spaces. Like you can see, there's the jungle, there's the city, there's the rivers. They all have a different cost associated to them. So, you have machete cards and money cards and paddle cards. That's what's going to get you through jungles, cities, and jungles, villages, and rivers. And all of that's pretty straightforward. I don't think there's anything too revolutionary about that. One thing I found interesting was, first of all, it's a modular board setup. So you've just got 7 tiles like this and 2 that are about half the size, maybe just 3 hexes across. They're all double-sided, and every time you play, you just build up a map however you want. You could make a really short one if you just want to play a quick 20-minute game. I don't know how well that would work, but you could try it. You could use all 7 and the 2 half pieces to make a really long map. Most of the suggested maps in the rules are about 5 tiles long. So yeah, moving through the map is nothing revolutionary. One thing I did find interesting is coins are what gets you through the villages, but you also use the coin cards to buy new cards from the market. So right away, that's kind of interesting. You have to make a decision. Do I want to move through this village, or do I want to buy that sweet new card that I think would really help my deck later on? There's a bit of a decision process there. Additionally, cards that aren't money cards, so the machete cards, the paddle cards, and any of the other cards can also be discarded to be used as money. Any non-money card that's used as money just has a value of 1/2 of 1 coin. So you need to discard 2 cards to get 1 additional coin. I thought that was a really clever idea, actually. It takes away some of the problems you can have in deck building games where you just have no money and there's nothing you can do except, well, in this case, you can still move forward on the map. But I thought that was a nice choice. It opens up the game a little bit and always gives you a couple of choices that you can make. Another thing that's really interesting in the game is the market from which you're buying cards. Every time you play the game, you're going to set up the market the same way. There's going to be 6 new cards that can be purchased that are more powerful machetes, more powerful paddles, cards that are worth more money, as you'd expect. But then what's interesting is there's 3 of each card, and once someone buys the 3rd card from that pile, there's now an empty space in the market. And in addition to the 6 types of cards in the market, there's an additional 12 cards sitting just behind the market. Normally, you're not allowed buying those cards. But once a spot opens up, the next player who's purchasing a card can choose to buy one of those other 12 if they can afford them, and then the remaining cards from that pile move into that 6th spot. And now those cards are available to everyone in the game. I thought that was really clever. I thought that was an interesting way of introducing new cards without just saying, hey, we're going to put 18 cards in the market for every game. That's the positive side of it. There's a couple of things I find don't work as well in the game. For example, in that same system, there's 3 of each card. Irregardless, that's not a word. Regardless of player count. So it gets a little odd. In a 2-player game, for example, you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to get 2 of those cards if you really want them. You know, unless the other player buys one first. But whoever buys the first one is guaranteed to be able to get a second one. Assuming the money comes up. Obviously, there's variables. It's not a guarantee, but they're more likely to be able to get a second one. In a 4-player game, on the other hand, with 3 cards available of each type, I've seen it where I've purchased the last card in a pile. The next player buys a card from the 12 extra cards that I've really been wanting, and then the 2 other players buy the other 2 copies of that card. And now I don't even get a chance at buying that card. Maybe I shouldn't have opened up a spot in the market. Maybe I should have been aware of that. I suppose there is a certain level of gameplay that you can be thinking about there. But it just feels a bit undercooked to me. Beyond that, though, I think it's a great game. It plays fast. Like I said, it really does play in about an hour, even with teaching. You can teach the game in maybe 5 minutes. Very honestly, I could have taught the game. What I've explained to you already in this video is about 80% of the teaching, beyond explaining what the extra cards in the market do. I think it's a really interesting game. I can see why it didn't win the German Game of the Year award. I don't think it's a classic. I don't think it's going to stand the test of time the way Tigris and Euphrates has, the way Amun-Re has, other games from Reiner, Knizia. But I think it's a clever game. I think it definitely has a place in the market. It's inexpensive as well. You can get it for under 30 bucks. It's a Ravensburger title. The quality of the components is okay. Nothing stellar, but not bad. Pretty much what you've come to expect from a Ravensburger game. About the same quality you'd expect from Castles of Burgundy or Bora Bora, if you've played those games. So, how do I feel about the Quest for El Dorado? Well, it's not a deep strategy game, and it's not an instant classic. But I don't think it's trying to be either of those things either. What it is a fast and fun game that can be played by anyone. You can teach this game in 5 minutes. It only has about 2 game concepts that you really need to explain to someone before they can get going with this game. If you have friends that aren't gamers but who've looked at your game shelf and asked what all those boxes are, this is the kind of game that you can pull out and put on the table and introduce those friends to board gaming. This is a game you can play with your family, even with kids. The box says 10 and up. There are some concepts they're going to have to be able to read and understand, so I can agree with that. But, even with kids, it's not a super competitive game. It's not going to cause any hurt feelings. It's a fun race game. I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, friends, family, non-gamers. I'm probably not going to bring it out with my heavier gaming friends if there's only time to play one game. I'd rather play a wide variety of other ones, but it's definitely going to have a space on my shelf for a while. That's The Quest for El Dorado by Reiner Knizia. Thanks very much for watching, guys. If you liked the video, click the like button below, subscribe to my videos, check out my feed on Instagram, and I'll see you next time for another above board game review.